if you got your way, you could pass any bill of reform you want for the state, what would the top two wishes be?
Well, this is one of our favorite fantasies whenever people are droning on at 2 o'clock in the morning at the end of session. Gee, if they just would have elected me king, I would have been out of here by now. The top two, I get 2 whole picks, huh? Wowzers. I think the first thing I would do is I would completely and radically let me retract the word radical. I would completely and comprehensively reform the way we educate our kids. I believe the state has a vested interest in making sure that all citizens are intelligent and have an understanding and a comprehension of what it means to be an American and to be a Minnesotan. How that delivers, though, is stuck in the Stone Ages, in my opinion. At a time when it seemed to be a good idea to bring everybody together in a central location, educate them, and then send them home at the end of the week or the end of the day or whatever, I think that time is no longer necessary. It's no longer here. We don't have to be doing that anymore. I'd like to, if I could pass any bill I wanted, that would be the first one. It would be to radically overhaul the whole way we deliver education and pay for it in the state, because it is north of 40% of the budget now and growing rapidly. What would be the second one I would do? Well, if we did that, in less than a generation, we'd have an interesting and a whole new population of fresh and energetic and creative people in the marketplace to do all kinds of fun things with. And that one is just such a big deal, I can't think of a second one unless it gets on again back to the whole business of how we deliver energy in this state. We are still stuck on a 100-year-old Public Utility Commission model that somehow utilities need to be heavily regulated, watched over, and that of course makes them kind of stuck in the ground and easy targets for people with all kinds of wild and creative ideas. And I think I would address the whole business of public utility service and its delivery in this state of Minnesota.
Thank you, Mike. Sue, your top 2 wishes.
See, this is where you wish you had the second question. This is why I had the second question. The first thing that is a priority for me, and will be a priority moving forward, is early childhood education, early child support, whether it's health care, quality child care. The fact of the matter is we need to continue to create generations of kids that can take care of us. Right? We don't get to choose who takes care of us when we get old. So we have to make sure that they are all very qualified to do so. Our Wolnick of the Federal Reserve Bank, he's an economist, said that there is a 9 to 12% return on the dollar invested in early child education. What business wouldn't jump on that one? There's a reason that we need to put money into early child education. But the thing is, we need to make sure they're healthy. We need to make sure, and I don't know if this is 2 bills, I don't care bill 2. But, you know, we need to make sure that every kid is covered so that they are ready to learn, so that they're ready to be contributing adults. You know, a second bill that would be important to me, of course, because this is near and dear to my heart, would be K-12 education. I've had the privilege of working with educators for 11 years, and I know they work very hard, and I know they're committed every day to doing better than what they did the day before. And you know, I can't help but feel just a little bit hurt, Mike, when you call it archaic, because quite frankly, I've been involved in a lot of work at that school level that is amazing, is doing amazing things for kids. And I think what we need to do is, rather than as legislators tell educators what to do, is let them go and get it done, because they are doing a fantastic job. You talk to any...
Thank you, Sue. Well, my next question is related to your last thought. What is your position on finance of public schools?
You know, school finance is tangled and complicated, but I've spent 11 years trying to master it. You know, basically there's 3 pots. Let's understand there's 3 pots at Bruns school. There's the pot where every kid, no matter where they live, gets the same amount. That's the basic formula. Then you have a pot, okay, that recognizes that there's difference between school districts. They have to bus real far. Or differences between kids. They don't speak English. They don't they come from poor families. We have to recognize that pot. And then we have a pot called the referendum, the voter-approved referendum. There's a school board member I've had to ask for. And let me tell you, school board members don't like asking for your property taxes either. School funding, what we need to do is we need to get back to the emphasis on every kid. What's been happening over time is we've been putting more money into these pots, which aren't wrong. These, the money for ELL, the money for compensatory, poor kids, kids who don't speak English. Those are important pots. Shakopee is the benefits. The Shakopee School District benefits from these dollars. They're important dollars. But what we've lost is we've lost the basic foundation. It hasn't followed inflation for 15 years. It's no wonder we're trying to do more with less. We have expectations rising all the time. Test score expectations, curriculum changes. Now let's put algebra into the 8th grade. Do you realize what that takes, that kind of planning? You have to go all the way back to the 3rd and 2nd grade to start planning that. That costs money. But that money used to be there, and teachers aren't backing away from the commitment. It's just that every time you pull them out and put in a sub, that costs money. And that hurts kids too. We need to get back to the commitment of public education for everything.
Thank you, Sue. Mike, financing public schools.
Good, thank you. The public school system in Article 13, Section 1 of the Constitution, we are required by that Constitution to do two things. Provide a general and uniform education for every child in the state. That's sentence number 1. It's only 2 sentences long. Sentence number 2 is that it must be thorough and it must be efficient. Efficient is a good word. Thorough is a good word. If I can hark back to 150 years of public education, I think the ideal that somehow we could have a uniform system of schools across the country that would help make a uniform and unified citizenry. I think that was a noble cause. Sometimes I'm concerned we've strayed from that and we're paying for something that we think we're getting and we may not be. When I talked about an archaic system, the key word there is system. We've been putting kids in bricks and mortar for 150 years. Why do we put them on the bus every morning at 7 and send them away to come home every night? Is that still the best way? Somebody has to have the courage to challenge that assumption. If it still is the best model, if it matches the Constitution's mandate for thorough and efficient, hallelujah, let's keep doing it. I'm suggesting that there might be other ways, because other people have been very productive and invented really cool things that help learning happen in all kinds of environments, and it doesn't start in K and end in 12, or it doesn't end with your bachelor or master. Sometimes it goes on. In fact, for all of us, it goes on for all of our lives. How do we pay for that then? Back to your question. We have a basic formula which apparently gets us past the constitutional test of uniformity. I'm deeply concerned, however, that along the way, a lot of people, for sometimes good intentions, have monkeyed with that and come up with all kinds of other little aids that have really spun the balance one way or another until kids that live in certain districts get way more money assigned to their account than children that live in our district or especially in rural Minnesota.
Thank you, Mike.